At 79 years old, David Gilmour, the legendary guitarist, singer, and songwriter of Pink Floyd, stands as one of the most influential figures in the history of rock music. Yet his story at this stage of life carries a heartbreaking weight that leaves fans emotional when they see what has become of the man whose soaring solos and haunting voice defined a generation. Gilmour was not only the creative force behind some of Pink Floyd's most timeless albums, The Dark Side of the Moon, Wish You Were Here, and The Wall, but also the soul of the band, crafting music that spoke to the human condition, touching on alienation, loss, and hope, themes that resonate even more deeply now as he enters the twilight of his life. While his genius gave the world unforgettable songs, the toll of decades in the limelight, relentless touring, personal conflicts within Pink Floyd, and the passage of time itself have left their mark, and fans who see him today are struck by the reality that even legends cannot escape the fragility of age. Once the picture of youthful brilliance with his flowing hair and fiery stage presence, Gilmour now carries the look of a man who has lived 1,000 lives. His voice softer, his movements slower, and his face bearing the lines of both joy and sorrow. Yet there remains a quiet dignity about him that makes his presence even more powerful. The tragedy of his later years is tied not just to aging, but to the personal losses he has endured, including the grief of losing close friends and fellow bandmates, most notably Richard Wright, whose absence left a void in both his music and his heart, and of course the long and often painful estrangement from Roger Waters, a relationship once built on shared dreams but later fractured by ego and artistic clashes, leaving scars that may never fully heal despite moments of reconciliation. Beyond band turmoil, Gilmour has also spoken about the challenges of stepping back from music, admitting that performing is no longer as easy as it once was, and the realization that the stage where he once reigned may no longer feel like home has been difficult for both him and his fans to accept. His health, though never publicly detailed in depth, is visibly slowing him down, and the sight of him, once commanding arenas with his searing guitar solos, now appearing frailer, is enough to bring tears to the eyes of those who grew up idolizing him. Yet amid the tragedy, there is also beauty. Because Gilmour has embraced his family life with his wife Polly Sampson and their children, finding solace in love, art, and quiet living, even as he acknowledges that his days of being the face of rock stardom are behind him. His legacy, however, is untouchable, and fans know that his music will outlive him, continuing to inspire long after he is gone. But when they see him now at 79, speaking softly, moving carefully, and reflecting on a lifetime of both brilliance and burdens, it is impossible not to feel the sting of time, to cry at the realization that even giants like David Gilmour must eventually face the sunset of life, leaving us with memories of the man who once made the guitar sing in ways no one else could and who, even in his fragility, remains a symbol of timeless artistry and human vulnerability.